Late last week, my cousin attempted to kill herself. And early this week, she was deemed successful. I've just come from her funeral, also technically her viewing and her burial. And I'm pretty upset about it. I was there this past weekend as she was on life support, wondering if there was anything left of her mind, if she could survive. For a while, things were looking okay, as though it was possible she could pull through, that she might not be perfectly normal, but at least there might be something left of what she was. And that turned out not to be the case. It was deemed that there was pretty much nothing left of her, and she was an organ donor, and she apparently helped at least improve, if not save, the lives of 6 or more people. So I'm appreciative of that. This time has caused me to reflect, obviously, a lot on life and death and that sort of thing. I haven't been taking very good care of my physical self, and it's a shame because there are a lot of people that depend on and love me and want me to stick around for a little bit past, my 30s. And so do I, for that matter. But there's a lot of other stuff to reflect on. I don't want to use my cousin's death to rag on religion. I don't want to use that as an excuse. I'm not. But there was a lot that I saw that I have to say made me very, very upset, very angry. Those of you that know me on YouTube, in fact, not even my girlfriend, who I've been dating for over 3 years now, has ever actually seen me angry. I'm not an angry person. It's very difficult to get me that way, but I had a lot of that to deal with this weekend. None of this is directed at any member of my family, especially not my aunt, who buys totally into this. They're very Catholic. Now, as far as I know, according to Catholicism, I don't think if you kill yourself, you get to go to heaven, even though the priest at the Mass seemed to not follow this. But it was the times that they discussed the mercy and the love of God. Now, look, I'm not angry at God for this. I don't think God caused this, because I don't think there's a God to cause this. But I'm getting very upset. I get upset thinking about my stepfather, because he has a certain penchant for declaring who is and who is not saved, who does and who does not go to hell. And my cousin was everyone's favorite. She was the family welcomer. I have a very large family. My grandparents had nearly 10 kids. And all of them had at least 2 kids. And some of those kids now have kids of their own. I have a very large family. She was everyone's favorite. She was the family welcomer. She has 2 sons. By the end of the year, there'll probably be 4 and 8. She leaves behind a husband. And we're pretty sure that the reason she did this was because she was taking a new antidepressant. Now, deists, I can't fault you. But fundamentalists, people like my stepfather, who are going to tell me that the Bible says she's going to go to hell. Don't you dare. Because that is not the case. Any God that would do that is not worthy of praise. She has, you're going to talk about mercy. She has 2 kids that she left behind. She has a husband, a brother who was absolutely devastated, a mother and a father. My grandmother and grandfather are still here. And you're going to talk about the fact that she's in hell in the same breath as talking about mercy and love. DSI, I understand. We're all in the end, we're all going to go up to heaven. Everything's going to be nice, and there's a reason, and we're going to get stronger, and all of that stuff. Yeah, I get it. Fine. But all of you that believe there's a place that the bad people go to, I want you to stop and check yourselves on this one. Because my cousin did not deserve this. She was the nicest person you could possibly want. She was the person I looked forward to seeing through the munch every Christmas, every family gathering. She was always the first one there. And she's not with us today, not because of her, but because of a pill. And you're going to put that on her. You're saying God is going to put that on her. No! It wasn't her. There are kids now that are going to go without their mother. Not only that, but one day they're going to find out their mother took her own life. How bad do you think that's going to be for them? No one deserves that. No one deserves that. We all loved her very much. It's never going to be the same without her. She was more loved than me. She was more loved than anyone else really in our family as a whole. Obviously, the parents love their own children, but once you take that out of the equation, she was the first on everyone's list. She gave me a bottle of wine the last Christmas party, and I was broke. I didn't get anything extra special. I was planning on repaying her for that. And I never got the chance to. And now I never will. And all of this is a pittance compared to what her children, her brother, her mother and father have to go through, and her husband. She didn't deserve this. She didn't even possibly, she probably didn't even mean for this to happen. I can't say anymore. I'm not doing this for condolences. Don't say you're sorry to me. I can move on from this, but I hope her immediate family can. But I'll perfectly understand if they can't. They look like they're dealing with it fine. I'll say that. They look like they're dealing with it as best as can be expected. And not any better, but as best as can be expected. She was 32 years old with 2 kids, and she enjoyed life more than anyone I ever knew. And she loved and cared for everyone more than anyone I can think of. And now she's gone. My aunt, my uncle, and mostly everyone else in my family thinks she's up in heaven, and I unfortunately have to come to the conclusion that she no longer exists. And that's very sad to deal with. But don't you dare say she's suffering right now. Because I can't think of anyone that would deserve it less. Sorry for the heavy-handed stuff today, but this was important for me to get out. If any of my family happen to come across this video, I apologize for any harshness. I think everyone acted to the best of their ability during this week, and I'm sorry for my opinions, but they are mine, and I can come to no other conclusion other than those. We will resume our regularly scheduled program as soon as I'm able to get all the rest of my shit together. Have a nice day. Honest discussioner. See ya. Okay, actually, on second thought, she was Catholic, so you could say a lot about the Catholics, but they're not afraid of booze, and she certainly wasn't. As I said before, she was very fond of giving people wine, and her favorite day, you might be able to see the three-leaf clover pin on my lapel here, but she was her favorite holiday was St. Patrick's Day, and not necessarily because of the Irish heritage. So she would probably want this to go out on a little bit of a more lighthearted note. It's going to be impossible for me to open up a bottle of wine or a bottle of beer without thinking of her in that way. So, to my cousin, Requiescat in pace.